What is going on YouTube? Hopefully you guys are having a good day. My name is Mario from Exclusive Auto Detail. As you guys can see, you guys are gonna follow along with me, my one-step polish process.
Hey Mario, so what are we doing today?
Today we're gonna be doing a one-stage polish for a customer that has a Honda CR-V. I think it might be, we're basically prepping it for ceramic coating. So thankfully it's really hot out here today. It's 90 degrees, especially with the black vehicle. But thankfully we're, as you guys can kind of see, we're kind of in an enclosed area, a little bit AC running through, so super thankful. When it's normally really hot days, I try to do my best to either work really early or try to ensure that I'm in a kind of a controlled area, especially when you're doing a polish. I don't like doing polishes outside, especially for a black vehicle.
Hey Mario, so what are you doing right now exactly?
So today we are doing a one-stage correction on it's pretty new. It's a Honda CR-V, and we are gonna be doing a polish. Do you know anything about that or not really?
I don't.
Okay, so it's gonna be really hard for you to see on camera. We tried doing it last time, but I can just try to explain the process to you. So one thing when you do a polish, I can try to explain to you multiple times. We are using a dual action polisher. We are using a foam pad. The Country's by Lake Country. It's a medium, it's a polishing pad, but it offers a little bit of more of a cut. And then Benny's over there, but we'll leave him out of the picture. He's using Shine Supply Classic Polish, which is personally my favorite polish. And what you're gonna be doing with that, Kevin, another thing that's really important, you guys have a bunch of LED lights. So Kevin, you're more than welcome to come over here. I'm not sure if you'll be able to get it on camera, but essentially what I like to do, Kevin, is I am using the LED light and I'm using it to reflect onto the paint. Now keep in mind, Kevin, you can go ahead and do like a roll. You got here a little late, but the car did have a good amount of scratches. I'll let you go ahead and do your thing, Kevin. And so what I'm doing is I'm using my polisher, and essentially what I'm doing is I'm removing the light scratches. And I do it in a crosshatch pattern. So I go up and down, and then to make sure, then I go from left to right. I'm sure you guys seen a lot of people on YouTube or Instagram do that. Also, when we, if you want to ceramic coat the vehicle, it would be something in a similar pattern.
Hey Mario, so why would someone want to get a polish on their vehicle?
Maybe you have a nice car, man. Maybe you have like an M3. There's a couple M3s at this location, and you want to make it look brand new again, or you want to revitalize the paint. That's when you would do a polish. Also, I don't know how it is for you guys. Let me know in the comments below. But if you guys are doing a ceramic coating, or at least when I do a ceramic coating, like I did last couple days ago for a truck, I always do a polish to kind of help the paint look as shiny as possible and as smooth as possible. So when I apply the ceramic coating, granted I use panel prep spray, it's gonna allow the coating to bond better and also just give a super wet finish on the paint.
So Mario, how'd you learn how to polish vehicles?
A little bit of hands-on training. I wouldn't say training, but a little bit hands-on. And then the YouTube University, man. My mom had a 98 Explorer, it was black, and it was really beat up. So when I was in high school, I bought a Porter cable, man. It was like way back in the day. It was like 80 bucks. And then I just bought some microfiber or foam pads. So I would do it on my mom's car. Obviously, it was I did a horrible job, but it was my mom's car. And then eventually, as I got more comfortable, I started doing my friends. Obviously, I did it at a reduced rate, if not free back then, because I was just so hungry to learn. And then kind of get nerdy. Maybe I can find the video and I'll send it to Reyes. There was I wouldn't say he was famous, but there was a FRS. There was a guy, his name is Robert Cochin, Stay Crushin'. He had a FRS that was wide body. So dude, a long time ago, I messaged him on Instagram when Instagram barely started, and I polished and I did a detail for his car. So ever since that, obviously that's kind of when I got the confidence to do it more for money rather than like for a passion. And then YouTube, man, like I would watch a bunch of YouTube videos. There's Panda Organizer, and there's a bunch of YouTubers that may not even exist anymore, or I'm not thinking on top of my head, so no disrespect to you guys, I just can't think about it right now. But yeah, they would explain how to polish and how to use the light and how to know when you're doing it correctly.
And how long have you been polishing for now?
I mean, that's a hard question, because I guess I started polishing like 8 years ago, but I do polishing more frequently. I mean, I could check my Instagram, but like around 2020 is where I started to shift the direction of where my detailing is going. Nothing wrong with the mini details and the clean seal, but if you guys could take a look, I'm in a controlled environment right now. It's 90 degrees outside. There's plenty of outlets for us to work in. No one's bothering me. So I kind of realized that if you want to make $100 an hour, you're gonna have to do higher end details. So yeah. To be honest, Kevin, it's gonna be based on your budget, man. Also, how often are you gonna be polishing? I can kind of show you, like for example, and everything has pros and cons, bro. You have a Milwaukee, this is my Flex. I prefer cordless, however, they're super expensive. And the most expensive thing is the batteries versus, if we go to Benny right now, I'll show you. Can I see the polish real quick, Benny? Can I see? So guys, keep in mind, this polisher is super old. It's the Bigfoot Duetto. I think it's a 5-inch pad. And I don't know what the throw is. I think it's like 12 millimeters. This is my first pad. This is a workhorse, by the way. Super smooth, very low vibration. I don't use it anymore just because it's corded, but actually this is Benny's favorite polisher. He's used my Milwaukee before. I will admit there's a lot of vibration, but just being cordless is super awesome. So let me give this to Benny. That Roops was like maybe, I may be wrong, guys. I'm just going based off of my head. I think that was like maybe 250 bucks to 300 versus the Flex, it comes in a kit, that was like almost $500. And those batteries, you can come with me, man. Those batteries, they don't last. So if you guys can see, I have my charge station. This was like, I think like maybe $80. This is a 6 amp and I use it on my Flex because the problem is the battery that it comes with is 2.5. It doesn't have enough charge. So I guess the only negative thing about cordless polishers, Kevin, is that they're a little bit more on the pricier side and you gotta have batteries charged. So you can see, I already have like extra Milwaukee chargers charging. Versus the benefit of Benny, or the one that he's using by Roops, is as long as he has electricity, he doesn't have to worry about the battery charge.
So hey Mario, how would I know once I'm done polishing?
Like have a standard with the customer. Like I said, we're doing a 1-stage polish. So there is gonna be like some minor swirls on the vehicle. You can go like on other YouTube pages where they'll have like a quote unquote percentage. My goal is to, especially with the 1-stage polish, if I can get like maybe 85% of the swirls off. Now, because this car is pretty new, I think we're closer to the 90 percentile. If the customer really wanted us to get like 100% correction, then we would do a 2-stage where we would get called Compound, which is a lot more aggressive, and I would actually use a different pad. I would use a microfiber pad, but like I mentioned, that's also more expensive and stuff like that. So this customer, once again, and it makes perfect sense, man. I can easily lie to you and be like, yeah, this customer needs a 2-stage correction. No, this is in really good condition. It only needs a polish. But to answer your question, the way that you can know that you're done, once you set the expectations with your customer, you use this light and you try to like shift around multiple times to look at the angle of the vehicle, and you want to see if there's any like major scratches. So what I've taught Benny before is I always do one pass, and I just did the one pass. You probably recorded it. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like look around the vehicle, wipe off any residue, and constantly shift and try to see if there's any major scratches. We talked about this already, Kevin, on the other side. There was a long scratch that Benny found, and then he asked me what to do. Thankfully, we didn't have to compound. I just asked him to hit it again a little bit more slowly and precisely, and it came off. Now, if it didn't come off, then maybe I would have just gone ahead and got the compound. But like I said, I think the most important thing is set the standard of the customer. Let them know that, you know, it is gonna have a mirror finish, but it's not gonna look like you're looking at like a glass mirror. There still may be a little bit of minor swirls or defects on the paint. Thankfully, this is a Honda, but a lot of times I've had experience in the past where I work with Tesla, and they'll have like these little like, they're called like runs, or it looks like a pimple essentially, but that's from the factory, and there's not really much I can do. Obviously, I could wet sand it, or if I really want to, I can compound the heck out of it, but because it's a new car or because of the Tesla, it may not be beneficial, but that's something you should talk to your customer and kind of set the standard.
All right, how much training do you think you need till you start venturing off to do polishes?
Kind of like what I mentioned to you, Kevin, it kind of based on your experience. I never paid for a course. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't. Now, you gotta like take your time and your due diligence and find the right person to polish for you, or to teach you how to polish and do stuff like that. Yeah, so maybe it is worth it to get a course. It also depends on your confidence. Like I mentioned to you, I started on my mom's car. I eventually worked on my friends and family. And then even when I did like a polish for like a customer, it was at an extremely low rate. So to the point that, you know, shout out to all those people that trusted me back then. Thankfully, I didn't mess up any of the cars. But even if, let's say it wasn't perfect, Kevin, I was charging them like such a low price back then. And hopefully the comment section doesn't flame me for, I did not make any profits back then. Whatever I made, Kevin, for those, like when I did like my very first polish that I made money, that money I used it to pay for the next polisher. So I was not even concerned about profits and stuff like that, man. Like I didn't know what hourly rates was and stuff like that. So yeah, the order that I like to do once again is the hood, front bumper, the roof. The roof is gonna be the hardest part, especially for example like this. We're doing our CRV. We did a truck the other day and that was super hard. I was on my tippy toes when I was doing the polishing. But essentially once you do the entire vehicle, so I guess you would essentially finish at this fender if you start this way and work around. Now, once you're done polishing, I like to get my Milwaukee lights and I like to go around the vehicle to double check that we make sure we got everything.
Hey Mario, so when it comes to polishing, what do you like to use as far as brands?
Whatever works best for you guys. There's a company called Lake Country. I'll try to show you guys. It's Lake Country HD pad. The way you could tell, it has, it's kind of two colors. It's orange, but it has this like foam applicator, which makes it a lot more tougher. I think this is like the best well-rounded polishing pad, but obviously there's like Rupes, which I have brand new. I used to love Buff and Shine, but the problem is it's really hard to wring them out. I'll give you an example. You see how they're starting to lift already? These are great when they're brand new, especially with the edge guard protection, but what people don't tell you is makes it difficult to clean it. So like I said, this is the Lake Country. I'm able to fold this and I don't have to worry about the Velcro part breaking apart. And then this is my favorite polish. It's by Shine Supply. I think he's out in Ventura County. You guys are more than welcome to use. Another company I like to use is Sonax. I think Rupes has their own polish, but this is the one that I specifically like to use. And I'm kind of like an old person. Once it works, man, I don't like to use new things.
Hey Mario, so why are you not using that polisher no more?
Oh, so now I'm working on the roof. I think you got me doing the A-pillars. So what's interesting, Kevin, if you take a look how thin or narrow these panels are. So the 3-inch polisher works perfectly. Versus if I use my 5-inch, I'm gonna get like not overspray, but I'm gonna smear and make a mess. But now that I'm done with the A-pillars, I'm gonna work on the roof, and the roof is a bigger surface area. I'll kind of give you an example on the hoods, you can get a better idea, Kevin. But if you take a look, if I were to polish this hood with this polisher, it would take me way too long. So the benefit of the 5-inch, especially with the 15mm throw, I'm able to cover more surface area so I can save time. So the only thing that sucks though, and like I said, this is another reason I like to go cordless, I'm about to do the roof. If I had corded, I would have to make sure to not have the cord touch the door panels. But now that I'm cordless, I can literally do this freely. I don't think you're gonna be able to get me on camera, Kevin, but there's a lot of painted surface on this roof. But let me know in the comments, which polisher is your favorite? And let me know in the comments below. But I'll let you know which is my favorite. Personally, my favorite is gonna be my 5-inch Milwaukee. It's gonna be the 15-inch throw. I just love that it's cordless. I do know that there's better polishers out there. There's the Flex, but I think it's like $800.
So why would a customer want to get a ceramic coating when they're getting a 2-stage?
Now that's a great question. That's gonna be a fire question. Cool, I appreciate that question, Kevin. Well, for example, let's say you have like an M3, or it doesn't even matter what car you have. The benefit of the ceramic coating is that a lot of reasons. One, if you want like a better gloss level, it's gonna be really slick. It's gonna look great when you wash your car, take some Instagram photos or just photos for yourself. Also, when you wash the car after, it's gonna make the process a lot easier. Alrighty everyone, that is gonna wrap up today's video. You guys saw my process of doing a polish, and then we also talked about like the pros and cons of different polishers and the different equipment that's needed. If you guys could do me a favor, if you guys could please leave a comment below. I would love to hear your guys' feedback. Put in the comments below what type of video would you like to watch next. I hope you guys have a good day. Peace out.